How are we going, folks? Welcome back to the Nightmare Cabin, and we've got an album review here, and we're going to be talking about the new live album from Metal Church. This is the Final Sermon, and live in Japan, 2019. So, well, no matter who it is, be it Deep Purple, Iron Maiden, even Napalm Death, whenever anyone records a live album in Japan, it's always good. So there's that to work with straight out the bat. But yeah, bit of a sad note though, because this is the reason that this is important is because this is the final performance with Metal Church's singer at the time, Mike Howe. And I'm sorry if I mispronounce his name. I've known a couple of people with that surname and they pronounce it differently, so I flipped a coin, to be honest. But so the band, concluded their tour that they were on at the time with 2 nights at the Club Kita in Kawasawa, Japan. And whilst listening to this, I had a look on that setlist wiki page. And if you don't know what it is, I think it's just called Setlist Wiki or something like that. Enter any band, setlist, Google, and then this page comes up, and then you end up finding this database of setlists. It's great fun. But I looked up the set list for those 2 nights, and they play a fairly different set list between the 2 nights, and it does seem that this is the second of the 2. Although 2 more songs are played that night than are on this CD, so you get 14 tracks here. Although it is just under an hour and 20 minutes of music, so I'm guessing 2 tracks were cut because it wouldn't have all fit on a CD, and I don't suppose it really justified a double CD, because obviously that costs more money to, process all the CDs and what have you. So I'm guessing that's what they've done. I guess I would have had this as like a standard edition, and then as a special edition, I would have had something along the lines of Live at Athens, Alive in Athens even. So I think the standard edition of this was 2 discs, but then for saddos like me, there's the 3-disc edition. I suppose they could have been like a special edition with both nights, full set, unedited, or spruced up. You get what I mean. The full set's on 2 discs, double EP, whatever it is. Who knows? Maybe they'll do that in the future. But there is a all singing, all dancing edition of this on LP. It comes, it looks like a book dedicated to Mike. You get like a poster and a lanyard and other bits and bobs. So I suppose that would have been nice. But regardless, this is a pretty fitting tribute and a great overview, really, of the band's career. I mean, before I get into the review, just to let you know, I am a casual Metal Church fan. I like them, but they're not a band that I feel compelled to own everything by. Like I say, I've got the first 3 or 4 albums. I think David Wayne was the original singer, wasn't he? He did the first 2 or 3 albums. The Dark is my favourite Metal Church album. There you go. Then Mike takes over, doesn't he? And then they do the album where they're sort of laying on the floor looking up at the camera and they've got all the candles. I think I've got that one. I don't have it. Yeah, everything up to that one I think I've got. But like I say, I'm a casual fan of Metal Church. And I think everyone has a bit of a soft spot for them to a degree. And they're just a band, they're a bit like a working man's band. They just plug away, don't they? And, Metal Church, bit of Metal Church doesn't hurt anyone, does it? And I've always, when I was writing for different magazines and doing the podcasts and stuff like that, where we was being sent everything left, right and centre for reviews and interviews and everything, I listened to the last couple of Metal Church albums, but to be honest, I sort of listened to them in order to say, yes, I've listened to them, therefore I can form that opinion of it, and then I kind of just moved on, and I didn't. and again, even then, I didn't feel compelled to buy them. But I don't know. Metal Church have always sort of been on the shelf for me, and I've always intended at some point to do a deep dive into them, and I was kind of hoping that this would spark my interest to really do a deep dive into Metal Church, and I'd say it has. I've definitely enjoyed listening to this, and I think this is a really good set. I had a good mixture of songs I recognised and songs I wasn't too sure of. So if I was there that night, I would have enjoyed it, and I wouldn't have been completely lost with the set. But they, like I say, this is an hour and 20 minutes here, and two extra songs were played on the night in question. So Metal Church did do a full set. This wasn't like just some festival or something like that. But yeah, it's a good overview of the band's career. There's on the second half of the CD, they do the David Wayne era of the band with 3 songs. What is it? So you get Start the Fire, Watch the Children Play, and Beyond the Black. And kicking off with Damned If I Do. Great chorus on that song. And Mike is on fine form here. And Mike, by the way, is unfortunately no longer with us. When I said it's the final recording with Mike, he passed away in 2021, 2022, I believe, and this was recorded in 2019. So, 2021, and 2019. It was a different world, and overall though, this is I really enjoyed listening to this. It's a really good set, really good hour and 20 minutes worth of music, and it's certainly, like I say, I'm a casual Metal Church fan at best, but this was enough to make me nod along, and I realised, I recognise quite a lot of these songs actually, and a couple of ones here and there where I was a bit unfamiliar with, but I was plodding along nicely to it. And it's really, really good. It's funny because the difference between Mike and David Wayne, because it's a little bit, when you describe the transition between the two singers, it is quite similar to Paul Di'Anno and Bruce Dickinson, and Mike was pretty much the Bruce Dickinson of Metal Church, and the transition between the two singers is quite similar as well. And Mike as well was in Heretic. He did the first Heretic album. Fantastic band. I think they've done. I really like. They reformed a few years ago and did another album. I'm not sure if they've done a third album or not. But those first 2 albums were really great. And the first album Mike sang on, and he left them to jump ship to join Metal Church. So this is a real fitting tribute. I mean, and it's tragic what happened to him, and that shouldn't have happened, But if your final performance is going to be documented 2 nights in a sold out club in Japan, that's a pretty good way to wrap things up. So well done to the band for recording that night, and who knows, they may have both nights, and who knows, some box set may come out eventually. But they've done their friend proud on this one, and Mike, God bless you, mate. You did yourself proud, and you've left behind a fantastic legacy of some great albums with a great band as well as Heretic. So a final sermon for a fallen friend, well worth listening to, and I suppose if you're a casual listener as well and you want to get into Metal Church, this is as good a place to start as any. It's, like I say, it's a good overview of the band's career. I would say start off with this, and if you like what you hear, start at the beginning, get the first 2 albums, and then start working your way through the catalogue. And I know Mike left the band for a little while, and then they got another singer, and then Mike came back for the last 2 or 3 albums. They've now got a new singer, and they've done an album with him, which I didn't listen to the whole album yet, but I watched a couple of videos, and it seemed good enough. So I might have to start start diving a bit deeper with Metal Church. But I'm glad I bought this anyway. This is a good addition to the collection. And who knows, over the next couple of years, I might just start chipping away and start completing the collection. So yeah, let me know what you think. If you're a bit more into Metal Church than I am, what do you think of this album? What's a good place if I've got the first 3 or 4 albums? Do I just carry on chronologically, or do I get a couple of later ones and work my way backwards? Give us a quick brief overview of Metal Church and what your favourite Metal Church album is, and yeah, we'll go from there. I've got a few more albums to review this weekend, so they'll keep coming. And thanks for watching. And yeah, watch this space. I'll see you all soon. Thanks a lot.